See, at the end, I'm going to show that, how we can deploy from GitHub. For a high level, I think somebody is not in the mute. Please put on the mute. Okay. This is a AWS screen, aws.com. You log in, you can able to see. There is a lot of features are there, whatever you click here and then you can able to see, but I'm only interested few features. One is Elastic Container or ECR and Lambda and API Gateway. Assuming that, you want to start from the beginning, you can just create a ECR registry, repository, you click here and then you give whatever the name you want. You want to give hello world. All right, for example, Streamlit image, whatever you want to do, you can give. And then you click create repository. What it does is once it will create one name for you. It can be private or it can be public. In my case, like this, it creates. If you don't, what you call import it, means like if you don't have the image for that repository, it will show as a blank. For sake of this one, I'll just create one and then I'll delete it. Just repo and then create repo 2. Right, it created one for you. Now if you click on the repo, it shows a blank, right? Nothing is here. Now you have two options. One is you can use these commands, or like if it is Windows commands. Mine is a Mac. You follow these instructions and then do the stuff, right? Before doing this one, you need to have AWS CLI installed in your computer, and then you just follow these things, and then Docker should be running on your computer so that you can execute this one and then this one, and then you, what it does is once you execute this push command, technically I'll show you. One is this one I push just like a 30 minutes back. This image is available here. Okay, once this image is available, now I want to create a Lambda functions. Go here. You click on Lambda. Now the image is available, and then now you click a function, create one, right? Create a container. You can give whatever the name you want. I can give, this is a fast API. Okay, for now I'll just browse. Yeah, this is the one I have. I'm selecting this one and then select create a function. Right, it is a fast API. I created an image and then I push it. Okay, for now, I don't want to make any complex, just I'm showing very high level. It takes few seconds. It is done. Now Lambda function is there. The Lambda, how it works is, it doesn't have any what you called web server or anything like that. You need to initiate the request. Okay, somebody need to call a function. That's where it works. Then what we had to do is we had to have another resource that is called API gateway. Okay, the API gateway currently how it works is, okay, this is a function fast API, and then I already have one more function I created here, right? Now let me Elasticsearch. Now I'm going to API gateway. I'm creating a new API, and then I'm creating a REST API here. And then we give the name, whatever the name you want. Now we need to expose this service. First we create any, we click OK. We just need to provide a, there is an integration that, how it is going to execute. You just say that what is a fast API. You click save, boom, done. Now this is just like, telling that what are the methods are there. The next step is you have to tell the resources, any resource automatically, like, if you have many services, it has a different names, right? A root, hello world, right? Or the anything you are develop the service. Now I'm not enabling any security or anything, just I'm clicking simple resource, right? Now mine is yeast, and then save. I'm just using a default. Click OK. Once everything is done, right? Now what we have to do is we need to deploy the API. We don't have anything. We just say dev deploy. You get a one URL. Okay. This URL you can test. Currently I have hello is the context is there. We copy, new window. Not going to work. Hello world. This is what happens. Simple service. We can expose as much as possible. This is a very high level picture is I created a Lambda function. That Lambda needs somebody need to initiate the call. That's what happening. Okay. What I will do is I'll delete all these things for now because that's the reason I went little faster. Delete. Oh, okay. No lambdas are available. Okay, that's good news. Everything is cleaned up. There is nothing I need to worry. Okay, for now I'll just leave it now. Okay, that's good news. Okay. Any questions before I go? See, what I did was I pushed the image, Docker image into the ECR, right? From ECR, I deployed into the function, right? Lambda function. The Lambda function required something to initiate that one, trigger it, right? Those are the things are needed, okay? Now I'll go to the basics, right? The basics here is currently what I deployed was just like a hello world, the app. It doesn't have any complicated stuff. For a fast API, they have a Magnum, which allows to Lambda function to work. What that means is there is a handler. It required a handler. This handler is needed. Without this handler, it is not going to work in the Lambda function. That's one of the things. It is kind of a plugin or whatever. For a Streamlit, it doesn't have that functionality. It is not possible to deploy it. That's a problem we have, right? This is what the app I developed. It is simple one-page Python application. And then, you get all the bells and whistles, the fast API, what it does, right? Routing and all the things it comes, right? I want to showcase it that it is possible to deploy a Lambda using a fast API, right? The next one I want to show here is in my Git hub, I created a Streamlit app, and then I was able to okay, because I disabled that, anybody can click. There is a deployment script I created. Like what it does is it compiles the code locally in the sense in the GitHub, and then it push the image to the ECR. Okay, these are simple configuration. Whenever user created, a user need to have two permissions actually in order to work on ECR. And then once you have that access, and then you get a key, access key and secret key. And then you also need to know what is the ECR repository. Just now we created a hello world or a hello repository or something like that. Those things we have to keep it. And then ECR as a location, it is just like a host name. We put all the details, and then one click, what it does is if I click here, currently I made it as a manual, it doesn't run. I need to select the branch and then click run. What it does is it basically deploys the image, and then it push to the AWS cloud. That's what happens actually. This basically it does everything. Then once it deploy, you can able to see the image here. Let me see. I'll just before ECR registry, right? This is what the image currently. Currently, I have one and the latest. I'll delete this. Delete. And I can go delete, refresh. Right. Currently, I need to do. If I go back here, what I'm running here is very simple deployment script. Currently, I put a tag. This can be make it as a dynamic. For now, I'm a hard coded. Now I'm pushing the one. Now, in order to do that, I just to click one button. Click. I'm running workflow. And then if I do this, what it does is, and then it is basically starting the stuff, and then it does all the magic. You don't need any manual process. Whatever I was explaining that, go to the repository, take that commands, and then, do all the things, right? You don't have to do anything. You just do the same thing for, deploying for a Lambda and everything. First time we might have to do a couple of settings, users and other things. But otherwise, once you do the grounds basic setup, right, now everything is done and then image is available. I just want to show this one. It takes few minutes, but let's see, you get a real feel of that advantage of using this, called a Git Actions. You don't have to do anything, simple, and then boom, done. This is our Streamlit app actually. What it is doing is, it is 6.5 gigabytes image. If you look here, I'll just click on this. Where is the property? It is only showing almost 3 gig, but reality is it is almost 6 gig is there. I don't know how it manages different layers or something like that, but that is the bigger size actually we are deploying here from here. There is nothing like a, if you look Streamlit app, if I go to the workflow, what it is doing here is I have workflow file. Okay, these are like a basic steps. It gets the latest image, Ubuntu latest image, then it has a checkout. All these are like a AWS credential. It log into the AWS, right? We are providing details, right? Reason and all the detail. Then once it is logged in successfully, then what it does is it is going to build the image, right? I'm giving information that what is where the ECR is located, what is the name of the repository, what is the tag name, right? If I put one, next time if I put one, it doesn't work, you have to give the new name. Now I'm using two commands. One is I'm building the repository with the tag name, and then once it builds, and then what it does is it push the image to the repository, this location. This is a ECR repository, is this name. This is a registry host name. This is the repository stream name, and then this is a tag name. The tag name, what it does is, okay, the tag name is nothing but, this is the tag name. This is the name of the image. That's what happens here. Okay, it is still running. Okay, where is that? Yes, still running. Almost we are there. It takes a few minutes to complete because it is almost 3 gig. And then what we'll do is let it run itself, and then parallelly we will go on different talk. Okay. Now before going there, anybody has any questions? This is like a workflow. If I go here, actions, like this all like a magic. It happens like it took like last time 7 minutes. 4 minutes is done. Most likely it will be done. Okay. And then most of the projects, right, you can add as many steps you want. Now you are building the image, you are pushing the another next step will be pushing the image to the ECR. From ECR you can push the image to the Lambda, right? That's where you can build the steps. For now I made it simple, only building the image. Now I had a difficulty to execute the Streamlit app uh, in the Lambda function. That's where basically we can't do it. I tried with the fast API, it is working because they have extra functionality. Okay, let's see where we stand. We are almost there now. They are pushing the image. This is called the layers. What it does is assuming that we already have a layer, they're not going to push again image. Only whatever the delta or a difference, that's the only thing it will difference. For example, if the image size is 3 GB, right? Out of 3 GB, there is a difference of the information is 500 MB, right? Only 500 MB information is going to push there, and then they differentiate based on the layers. These are the called layers. They're pushing. We are almost there. Now we are building the image. It might take a few minutes. Okay. To another minute, you can say. Minute and a half. Anybody has any other questions? I think we can wait for a minute. I think we are almost there. And then we'll close the call, okay? Here, what I will do is I'll stop recording now because there is nothing is there. I'll stop sharing first.